My name is Nathan Kelley, and I am a photo instructor naturalist with Lindblad Expeditions and National Geographic. We are traveling along the coast of Labrador on an expedition from Greenland to Newfoundland aboard the National Geographic Explorer. The landscapes around the coast of Labrador are grand in terms of scale. Pretty easy to get awestruck by the geology. Massive mountain cliffs carved by the glaciers long ago that have now been coated with the beautiful colorations, from the green vegetation we see along the shoreline to the rocks that are colored with hues of orange and reds. It really does provide a beautiful color palette for our photography. We are having a beautiful day here in Torngat National Park. We got to travel by zodiac through these U-shaped valleys carved by the glaciers long ago. Each day we've traveled along the coast here of Labrador, we've had amazing 360-degree views. Getting a chance to get ashore and go on hikes and being at the base of these valleys looking up at these massive towering cliffs can be such an amazing perspective. When taking a photograph, it's really tricky trying to find a way to show scale. Simply adding elements like a zodiac or maybe someone you're traveling with in the foregrounds can be a nice way to show the size of these beautiful vistas. It's always important to capture the different layers inside of your photos. Thinking about a foreground element, a midground, and then a very effective background is going to really tie it all together to be a beautiful photograph in the end. I captured a photograph of the scene in the early morning as our bow was almost completely empty. I decided to take a few steps back and include the bow inside of the frame, as well as include some of the reflections of the smooth water to tell the story of a calm morning. It's just as important to think about what to include in your photograph as it is to what to take out of your photograph. So simply moving slightly to the left or to the right, or using your telephoto lens and maybe zooming in on some texture, isolating a main part of your subject, can be a lot more effective than getting a wide shot that has some distracting elements. Using the longer lenses to compress the backgrounds closer to your foregrounds can give you a really effective frame. Using different techniques like panorama photography, stitching multiple images together to show the whole scene can be really effective in capturing the Labrador coast. One of my favorite shots of the voyage was actually a few different frames stitched together turned into a panorama within Lightroom. I did a great job capturing the whole scene in Torngat National Park. Our ship, the National Geographic Explorer, is seen in the frame and it's super minuscule in size. It really tells a story of how massive and grand the scenery actually is. Photographers can be quite the picky bunch. We love to have nice clouds with some textures instead of these empty skies. Some days where we have harsh sunlight, it can be hard to get a proper exposure, and on those days, I tend to want to lean into the contrast. Embrace the deep dark shadows with the strong highlights. Interesting light is always going to make a more interesting photograph. Getting the chance to travel with so many different guests and see what catches their eyes is always an inspiration for myself.